Jnana Trimandasya Ganangana Salakaya Chasu Samvitayena Tasma Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtan Stapitayena Bhutale Sayarupa Kadamaya Dadati Shapadantika Vandeha Sri Guru Sita Parakamala Sri Guru Vaishnavascan Sri Rupa Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunathan Sajivan Sadhuita Sabaduta Parijana Saita Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devan Sri Radha Krishna Padasahagana Lalita Sri Vishakavitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radha Vindamaniswari Vishabhanu Sutta Devi Panamami Haripriya Vanchakapa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhivaivacha Patitanam Pavanavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Mahavadanyaya Krishna Premapadayate Krishnaya Krishna Kirtana Mini Goratasi Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Siva Shari Gora Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Ananda Lila Moya Vigraya Himabada Vichavi Sundaraya Tasma Maha Primrasa Padaya Chitachandra Namanamasti Chitachandra Namanamasti Chitachandra Namanamasti. So, you are welcome to this evening edition of the Bhagavad-Gita. The Bhagavad-Gita, the word of Lord Krishna. So, we are continuing on the discourse on the chapter 15. Text 8, the subject matter of the banyan tree, which is upside down. The branches is upward. No, the root is upward and the branches are downward. Udvamola Ada Shakam. As Lord Krishna is instructing his dear devotee Arjuna. So, and of course this chapter is called Purushottam Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. So this chapter gives us the understanding of the living entities in terms of their misguided circumstances of this material world and they have to struggle. But if they turn their face away to see Krishna, then they can go to that abode where there is no suffering, where there is no struggle. Because this material world is a place, it's called Prakriti Karshati. It's a place of constant struggling. There is no achievement in this world that does not involve struggle. Every achievement is involved in struggling. There's not a single achievement. Everything is a struggle. So therefore, it's struggling for existence. That is the motto of material world. But there's such a place where there is no struggle. And this is what the Lord is telling us here, that we should aspire to go to that place. So that there's a place where there's no need of sun, there's no need of moon. And he said, Ya Gatanadivatante Tap Dhamma Purusha Paramama. He said, that place is my supreme abode, whereby you go there, you don't come back here. And what is the nature of that place, that spiritual world? So Lord Brahma, he said, Sriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kapatarabo Drumabo me chintamani ganamayito ya mamichan. Kata gatanda tangamana mapiban sipiyasaki. Chidana da jyoti paramapisa ma apisha. So the Lord Brahma is saying there is that place whereby the ground is full of gems, chintamani, purposive gems. And in that place the water is like nectar, Toya Mamrita, the water is like nectar, there's no. And that place is such a beautiful place that when people speak, it's like singing. When people speak, they're like singing when you hear it. And where people are walking, it's like dancing. So that is the nature of spiritual world. And that's where Lord Krishna said that we should go to that place whereby there is no struggle. Now, how live entity, how they transmigrate from one body to another body, what carries them, what impression takes them from one body to another body. This is what is being discussed in today's verse. So you can just repeat after me. Sariran yadapnote ya chapi utkramastis swaraha Gritwantani samyate Vayu gandam ivasayat Sariram, the body, what as avapnoti gets, yat as cha api also utkramati gives up Ishwara, the Lord of the body. Gritva, taking etani, all this. Samyati, goes away. Vayu, the hair. Gandham, smells. Iva, like. Asayat, from their source. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. The living entity in the material world carries its different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the hair carries aroma. Thus, it takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Purport. Here, the living entity is described as Ishwara, the controller of his own body. If he likes, he can change his body to a higher grade. And if he likes, he can move to a lower class. Minute independence is there. The change his body undergoes depends upon him. At the time of death, the consciousness he has created will carry him onto the next type of body. If he has made his consciousness like that of a cat or dog, he is sure to change to a cat's or dog's body. And if he has fixed his consciousness on godly qualities, he will change into the form of a demigod. And if he's in Krishna consciousness, he will be transferred to Krishna Loka in the spiritual world and will associate with Krishna. It is a false claim that after the annihilation of this body, everything is finished. The individual soul is transmigrating from one body to another, and its present body and present activities are the background of his next body. One gets a different body according to karma, and he has to quit this body in due course. It is stated here that the sorrow body, which carries the conception of the next body, develop after body in the next life. This process of transmigrating from one body to another and struggling while in the body is called karshati, or struggle for existence. Sarira yadapnoti ya chapi utkamati Ishwara gritoit vaitani samyati vayugandam vibhasayat. The living entity in the material world carries its different conceptions of life from one body to another. As the hair carries aroma, thus it takes one kind of body and again quits to take another. So this is very instructive here of how the living entities assume different body in their, from one life into another life. How the body changes from one situation to another situation. And the example has been given here that just like the hair carries aroma, Gandham means aroma. So the hair carries aroma, especially the aroma of a flower. It carries it on, so that one can smell the flowers. One can smell the fragrance of the flower from far distance. So similarly also the sorrow body, which consists of the senses and because the senses are sorrow, it's not gross. Only this body is gross, which is five elements. But it's the sorrow body, the senses and the mind. So that is what carries the living entity into another body, which means after the termination of this body, because after all, this body cannot live forever. So when this body is scheduled to be given up, then the senses and the mind, which consists of the sorrow aspect, that will carry the jiva into the next body. And of course, that next body is determined according to the karma which the living entities have accumulated while in the previous body. So that always be there. So, like proper, sometimes we say that the living entity. Sometimes we say that someone is the architect of his fortune. It's popular saying that a person is the architect of his fortune. But at the same time, a person is also the architect of his misfortune. Fortune and misfortune will always be there. Basically, how you live your life, that will determine your next birth. So we cannot really blame anybody in this material world that why this person is like that, why that person is like that. There's one time a guru told a disciple that he should go and bring wood, because in the Vedic time, the guru, normally the sadhus every day they will perform fire sacrifices, and in order to perform fire sacrifice, the wood is required. So one time the guru told the disciple that he should go to the forest, he should go around and bring some wood. So the disciple went. He went all over the places and came back and told the guru that he could not find any wood. What shall he do? He could not find any wood. So the guru said, you must find wood. Even if you have to go to the earliest planet, you have to bring me wood. If you have to go to the earliest planet. So following the order of the Guru. So the disciples, he went to the earliest planet and met Yamaraj. So he met Yamaraj and told Yamaraj that he has come to take wood because his Guru has ordered him to bring wood because he had to perform some sacrifice. So therefore he asked Yamaraj that let me carry some wood from your planet. So Yamaraj told him that, what makes you think that the wood is here? There's no wood here. There's no wood here in the earliest planet. So this disciple was surprised. He said, how come there's no wood here in the earliest planet? How do you burn people who have come, the sinful people? How do you burn them? So there must be wood here. How do you burn people? Yamaraj said, no, people come here. The people, they actually come here, they bring wood themselves, and with that wood, they get burned by it. So which means we don't keep wood. People, they actually bring their own wood, and with that wood, that they get burned by it. You can see. So which basically means that people come with their own sinful activities that is burned. They get burned. They are burned by, they get consumed by their own sinful activities. Not that something is in the earliest planet that prepared the fire for them. No, it's their fire, is their own activities which causes them to get consumed by the fire. So in this way, because the living entities have to live in this material world. The specific thing that's mentioned here that is the word that is used here, that Ishwara, Utkramat Ishwara, that the living entity is described to be the controller of his own destiny. Is described the word Ishwara here. And Srila Prabhupada specifically says that which means, the controller of his own body. So if he likes, he can perform activities so that he can get a higher destination. And if he likes, he can get he can perform the activity in such a way that will degrade him. So based on our own activities, we are either elevated or we are degraded. And this is born out of the different desires which has been accumulated since time immemorial. Because these desires, because the senses, the mind, they form the desires. Because the senses, the five senses, there are different impressions which are accumulated in the course of our lives. So different impressions are there which are accumulated, and those impressions are stored within the mind. And then that forms our desires. And which means the desires of the living entity will always be there. There is no point of time when that desire will cease. That desire will always be there. Until the only way that desire can stop. And what is that desire? The materialistic desire by which we want to be the Lord of all we can survey. We want to be the enjoyer. We want to be the controller, basically. But it's only when the living entities encounter a devotee of the Lord. It's only at that time only that desire can be checked. Otherwise, desire will always be there, and that desires will take the living entities from one body into another body. So as is mentioned this material in this sloka here, that a living entity can choose to either stay here in this material world, he can choose to either go to the higher planet, heavenly planet, and the planet of the demigod, or he can choose to go to the kingdom of God, to go to the spiritual, to go to Krishna Loka. He can choose. So that is how the Lord has given us independence. So which means You have your independence to choose, because the Lord will not force us to come to Him. The analogy has always been given of the two birds sitting on the tree. The two birds are there. One bird is busy eating different type of fruit on the tree, but another bird is simply looking, simply witnessing. And this bird that is witnessing is simply wondering, when will this bird, look towards him? Because after all, the Paramatma is there within the heart. The Paramatma is there within the heart, is simply witnessing all our activities. So long we are neglecting the presence of the Paramatma within the heart, that much time we will remain in the material world, in a different types of body, from one body to another body into another body. So the repetition of a birth and death is always there. So it's mentioned here, the Lord saying that the living entity gets a new body according to the impression which he has accumulated into different life. So in the Bhagavatam also, we also have this explanation which has been given by Lord Kapil Dev, whereby he says, Dehena jiva bhutena loka lokam anum prajan bunjana eva kamani karoti abiratam puman. That due to his particular type of body, the materialistic living entity wanders from one planet to another planet, following fruitive activities. In this way, he involves himself in fruitive activities and enjoys the result incessantly. As the Prabhupada said in the purport here, when the living entity is engaged in the material body, he is called Jiva Bhuta. And when he is free for the material body, he is called Brahma Bhuta. By changing this material body, birth after birth, it travels not only the different species of life, but also from one planet to another planet. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya says that the living entities bound up by fruitive activities are wandering in this way throughout the whole universe. And if by some chance or by pious activities they get in touch with a bona fide spiritual master, by the grace of Krishna, then they get the seed of devotional service. After getting this seed, if one sows it within his heart and pours water on it by hearing and chanting, the seed grows into a big plant, and there are fruits and flowers which the living entity can enjoy even in this material world. That is called Brahma Bhuta stage. In this designated condition, a living entity is called materialistic, and upon being freed from all designations, when he is fully Krishna conscious, engaged in devotional service, he is called liberated. Unless one gets the opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of the Lord, there is no possibility of one's liberation from the cycle of birth and death in the different species of life and through the different grades of planets. So therefore it's a Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhogavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Poya Bhakti Latabij. So my Prabhu was instructing that the living entity is wandering through different planets, in different body, in different spaces of life. And it goes on. Actually, there's no point in time when we can ascertain to since when as living entities being in this material world. There's just no point of time. And that's why it's mentioned that, that's why sometimes the eternal is there, which means we have been here since time immemorial. There's just no point in time we've been here. And the living entities have to go through 84 lakh species of life, from aquatic to plants, from plants to reptiles, from reptiles to birds, from birds to animals, and then from animals to human species. So altogether there are 8.4 million species of life. And of course, the human form of life is the highest. And it's that human form of life that is one can get the chance, the opportunity to really put a stop to materialistic existence. But unfortunately, even though the living entities may acquire human form of life, still the opportunity to put a stop to the transmigrating from one body to another body, that opportunity is also not there. So it's only when the living entities become very, very fortunate. And that fortune, is difficult to ascertain. How a person can be fortunate to meet a great saintly personalities. Now, there can be different ways, of course. Sometimes it can come in the form of mercy. That sometimes, if the Lord comes himself, he gives mercy to all living entities. That okay, they can all liberated, they can come out. Or sometimes the pure devotees, sometimes they go to a particular environment and they can give their mercy to personalities. And sometimes a person may perform some pious activities, some pious acts. Because how we meet a sadhu is also, one has to have a fortune to meet a sadhu. So a person may perform some what we call agyata sukriti, which means some unknowingly performing a pious activities. Like sometimes, let's say a person is wandering around, a person, because sometimes the sadhu, they go from place to place, and sometimes a rich person may decide that, because the sadhu, they don't have money, they usually poverty-stricken. So somebody may decide to just give a sadhu, maybe he has pity on him, he just decide to give him some donation. Okay, you take this money and go feed yourself. You just give it without any, just out of kindness of heart. Just like in the West, for instance, in the West, especially USA, America, people are normally very, people are normally very charitable in America. They're normally very charitable. They love to give, I remember one time I was driving in Washington, D.C. We have our temple in a very, very affluent area, very rich area. Actually, our temple is in a place whereby we are the only one who are kind of poor, but everybody else, they are rich houses, expensive houses. So I remember one time I was driving a car, just early in the morning, I was driving a car, and then somehow while driving, I fell asleep, and my car fell into the ditch. The car fell into the ditch. So, the car fell into the ditch, in our Krishna devotee. But all of a sudden, many people who are driving their expensive cars, so they are stopping by. They all say, "Oh, can we help you? Is there anything we can do for you?" Because they saw someone who had run into a ditch, So they also, can we help you? Everybody was stopping. I said, no, I said, I'm okay. Because we're just next to our temple. So in this way, people, they want to help because of the kindness of heart. They want to help. So this mentality of wanting to help people who are in the need, so that can be, especially if it happens to be like a saintly person, then that actually become a pious act, which can actually give a fruit in the next life. So that's it. They say that by knowing pious activities, a person can come to meet a sadhu, and then of course when you meet a sadhu, then you develop some faith to hear. You want to hear from the sadhu, after having developed a faith. So that the Shraddha in Ado Shraddha Sadhu Sanghi Tata Bhajan Kriya, that in the beginning one has faith, and then by that faith one wants to associate with the sadhu, and then by hearing from the sadhu, then more faith develop, by which the sadhu he engages in bhajan or Krishna bhajan, and from that time on our materialistic existence comes to a stop. Because the association of a sadhu, it enables us to minimize our material desires and develop a spiritual desire to serve Krishna. So that's the effect. But not everyone can be that fortunate. So therefore, my Prabhu said that Bhagyavan Jiv, a very fortunate jiva, can meet a sadhu, and then from that time, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach, that the devotional kripa develop. Devotional kripa is planted. So when devotional service kripa is planted, and that plant start growing, become like a big tree, and it grows and grows and grows and grows. It grows to the spiritual world, become a very, very long tree. It's not the type of a tree which is upside down. We are talking of a banyan tree which has got the root upward and then the branches downward. That applies to the materialistic people. Those simply want to see every situation for sense gratification. Whereas the Bhakti Kripa, the Bhakti Lata, is a Kripa whereby it grows from the ground, through the association of a sadhu, and it grows. So by bhajan, Shravana Kirtana, and all that, it grows and grows and grows, and then it goes to the spiritual world. And then eventually, this material body is extinguished. Material body is extinguished. No more, which means the sorrow senses the sorrow senses is no more there, because the sorrow senses, the mind that carries us from one body to another body. But because the senses and the mind has been purified, so which means once the senses and the minds become purified, so they lose all their potency to carry the living entities to another body. And then, so rather than the living entities becoming the servant of the senses, the person becomes the master of the senses. So that's what we call Goswami. Goswami is the person who has become the master of the senses. And because one becomes the master of the senses, so the senses are utilized in the service of Krishna. The sense of hearing is used to hear Krishna Katha. The mouth is used to chant about Krishna. The smelling, to smell something, what has been offered to Krishna. The seeing is used to seeing the beautiful forms of Krishna. The touching, to touch the deity or to touch the Vaishnavas. So in this way, all the senses are purified. They engage in the service of Krishna. And what is happened, then there's a termination of the materialistic existence. The materialistic existence is terminated that way. And then the person becomes a great fortune. So this is what's been said here, that where the Lord is telling Arjuna that of course, as you read to the next in the further chapter, in the further verses, whereby the Lord said that the living entities will eventually, go to the spiritual world, and in that place, because the spiritual world one has a spiritual body, and the spiritual body is eternal body. The spiritual body has no birth, has no death, it's always there existing. So in that spiritual body is one live eternally. And of course, in my introduction, I spoke about the nature of the spiritual world, which Lord Brahma said that in that place is this gem, the trees, desire trees there, So all these wonderful descriptions are there. So this is a very important text, and it's very wonderful chapter. So the Lord's talking about the condition of the living entities in the material world, and also the procedure of their liberation, the procedure of getting out of the material world. Instead of becoming a Jiva Bhuta, one become Brahma Bhuta. Jiva Bhuta means the conditioned life, and Brahma Bhuta means the liberated life. And that liberated life, so Jiva Bhuta means the conditioned life, and the Brahma Bhuta is the liberated life, but one have a choice, because the Lord will not force you to come to Him. After all, we are meant to love Krishna, and the love is never forced. It has to come out of willingness, has to come from the heart. It has to come. So, like every morning we chant in the Mangalati, we sing the prayer that Bhajira Rakala Gopa Vrindapala Chitari Bansidari, that the gopis are kind of personalities whose heart has been stolen by Krishna. So we have to pray for that also, that our heart become, stolen by Krishna, not that our heart becomes, stolen by Maya, which is our condition presently, but our heart should be stolen by Krishna, and that has to come by our own desire. We have to desire it. We have to be wanting to give up that which is temporary and embrace that which is of eternal. We have to have that. So that is the point of this verse. Ishwara, that word has been inserted into this verse. Utkam Ishwara, the living entity in the control of his own body. It means indicating the independence that the living entity have. So you have a choice. You have a choice of accepting. You are actually taught to continue staying in this material world, or you have a choice to accepting, to embrace the spiritual necessity. So that choice is there. But the Lord will never force you. There cannot be any force. So therefore, bhakti is such that just like the bhakti independence, so bhakti is independence. The living entity have that independence. Nature has to be there. So that is the gist, the summary of this verse. Okay. So I'm going to stop here. If there's any question.
What is that?
Brahma Bhuta means the liberated stage. Yeah, liberated.
All is liberated, nothing to be done. That won't be spiritual body.
Exactly. And Jiva Bhuta means you are conditioned, bound. And that's your mind, your senses, they carry you from one body to another body. That's Jiva Bhuta stage, the conditioned stage. But if you are fortunate, you can develop that spiritual desire. But that comes by association with the devotees. Yeah.
Yes. It says here that life from one body to another body by air carriers like aromas.
Yeah.
So life, what does it mean? Is it the sound?
No, that's the life, because the soul. The life of the soul is within the life, the prana. So that's now it's the life carries the soul from one body to another body, according to the senses, according to what the kind of impression which has been developed in the previous situation, and that impression which are done by the mind, by the senses, because we developed it, we carry different impression by our senses, and that is compared here by like an aroma that carries from one situation to another situation. But when you study the Sankhya Yoga in the third canto of Bhagavatam, so this is also very nicely elaborated by Kapila Dev. When he was describing the 24 elements, the 24 materialistic elements. So you have the gross senses, the gross body, then you have the sorry body. So it's that sorry body that carries the living entity to another body. So that sorry body is epitomised by the life hair. That's the life hair that carries. But the jiva is the living entity, the soul, it's like captive. It's not, it's bound. It's someone who's like it's prison. It's a prison. Is a prison within the body. It's a prison within that. So the jiva is a prison process. It's in prison within the subtle body. So because the jiva is in prison within the subtle body, down and different bodies, different material bodies is arranged for him according to particular activities which he has performed in his previous life. Now, unfortunately, the jiva is very attached to that. Due to ahankara, due to false ego, because the living entities identify himself with that. Identify himself with both the sorrow and the gross body. So therefore, that the boundary, that condition stage is the living. So the living entity is like captive. He has no really, he has no choice basically. He has no choice. He has to go. He has to go take another body after another body. There's no choice there. Yeah, even though you mentioned here that the living entity is independence, yes, it's controller, but it's in controller in the sense that he can have a choice of what activities to perform. But as long as the living entity has not developed a spiritual consciousness, then he has no choice. He has to follow the dictate of the material nature. He has to follow the dictation of the material nature.
Can we also say that the sound travels from one body to another body through air like aroma?
Yeah, basically.
Like aroma.
Yeah, because the sound is a subtle sound. It's a subtle. Yeah, because there are the subtle senses. You have the gross senses, and you also have the subtle senses. The subtle, the sound of touch, the sound of hair. Subtle means you cannot physically see it. You can't physically see it because it's subtle, and that does not die. It's always there. The soul senses, as long as the material world is always there in the material world. They never die. It follows the living entity from one body to another body. It's always there until the final liberation comes. Which means as long as one in the material world, the subtle senses will always be there with the living entity until the time of liberation comes. Whereby when the gross and the subtle body can be discarded. But that's, and of course, if we engage in bhakti, then this both gross and subtle body, senses, body can be purified if you engage in bhakti. So they say, Rishikena Sevana Bhakti Uchite, that if the living entities, if we engage our senses in satisfying the senses of Krishna, then we can become liberated, basically.
Kshetra and Kshetragya.
Yeah. Kshetra is the material body. Kshetragya is the knower of the material body, which is the living entity. The living entity is the Kshetragya. He's a witness. He's the one that is inside the body. But of course, there's a supreme Kshetragya. The supreme Kshetragya is Krishna himself, or the Paramatma. So he knows all living entities. Whereas as an individual Kshetragya, we only know what is in our body. But at the same time, we really don't have the complete control, because we don't have control over our destiny. We have no control over our destiny. Because our activity determines our destiny, but we have no control over it. Whatever is meant to happen to you, you cannot stop it. Because there's somebody else which is above you who's controlling that. You yourself, you have no control over your destiny. No control over it. Like we call a samskara, that every living entity has got a particular nature. And no matter what, that nature, the person will always act according to their nature. And nobody can do anything about that. But that nature is formed according to the previous activities, the previous actions. So that's why the Sanskrit word is called adrishta. Adrishta means what we cannot see, what is unseen. So adrishta, what is unseen, Whereas, but unseen means because, it's basically due to ignorance, But material world is such a complex situation. It's so complex. So that's why the only way out is to become, devotee of Krishna. That's the only way out. There's no other way out. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Go.